Assalamu alaikum students. I hope you all are well. You're doing great at your homes. You're taking care of yourself and your parents. With that, I hope that you're enjoying your Google Classrooms and you're doing your work timely. Today, what we are going to do is a task regarding story writing. Story writing is not something that we're doing it for the first time. You're well aware with the structure of the story writing. However, this story writing will be regarding sympathy and empathy. On your screens, you can see the first page of my PowerPoint presentation that I will be uploading regarding this task. If we move further, we see material to be read before watching the tutorial, or even after watching the tutorial you can read all of this stuff. You can go through the videos that will clarify your concept regarding sympathy and empathy. In this PowerPoint presentation, the first task that you have to do is to read a text from page number 141. It is an extract from the novel set in India, and it is regarding two sisters who have called their medicine man to cure their sick mother. It's a story regarding sympathy and empathy. There are two more videos that you can watch over sympathy and empathy. When we move further from here, we can see the difference between empathy and sympathy with an example. But let me clarify your concept regarding sympathy and empathy. Sympathy is something that you feel for the other person. You feel bad about their condition, you feel bad that they don't have money or food or anything. You feel pity on them. You might help them, but not to an extent, because you haven't experienced it yourself. You might feel bad for a person who have lost their loved one, but you cannot experience their pain because you haven't gone through that experience, or you don't want to go through that experience. However, empathy is basically to put yourself in the other person's boots and feel their pain. Now, a simple example of that could be that when you go to a playground and you see any child falling off a slide or a swing, you feel their pain, because in your life you might have felt the same kind of pain. You might not have fallen off a slide or a swing, but you might have felt some kind of pain in your life. So that's why you can put yourself in their boots and you can experience the pain that they are going through. Okay, this sympathy and empathy will be further clarified in my PowerPoint presentation. You can go through that. If we move further from there, we can see narrative and story writing structure. Now, what is the structure we already aware of? However, there are some guidelines, there are few steps that we can take to make our stories more impressive. We can set examples with our story writing if we follow those 11 steps. I will be talking about those 11 steps in a short while. If we move further from here, we can see the do's and don'ts of story writing. Fine. These are few things that you should follow while writing your story. Um, then then there are few guidelines for you in which I'm telling you how to collect ideas, how to make a plan, and I will be giving you some important details that are in my hand as well. After that, there will be a written task given regarding a story of about 200 to 250 words on a situation in which one character responds with sympathy and another with empathy. You will be doing that in your Word document or on Google Docs, and you will upload that on your Google Classroom. Okay? There are set of instructions that will tell you that strictly follow the word limit. Now, these are the things that you can read from my PowerPoint presentation. But yes, there are few things in my hand that I want to share with you people, so that your story can be an exemplary one. Fine. Let's just go about it. We all know that story, how to write a story, but we don't know how to write a good short story that will baffle everyone. The first step to follow in that regard is know your character. um, Now, for knowing your character, it's very very important that you write the character traits and the important points of that character on a character development sheet. They are available on internet, or you can jot down the character traits on a piece of paper beside you before starting your story, because this is the best way to know your character and then make the reader know them too, so that they are not like crazy searching for stuff regarding your characters in the story. Okay, the second step is make an outline. Now this is something that I've always been saying my kids even in the classrooms, that whenever you write something, make an outline of that, make a small web on a piece of paper. That will help you to track things, and that will help you to know that which thing is to be added in your story and which thing you should omit, and it can be omitted to reduce the word limit. Okay, the third thing is start with something odd or out of ordinary. Now, we know that the novels do not have the longevity of a novel, and we have very less time to build up our characters and build up a story as well. So, for this, you have to capture the reader's attention in an instance. Fine. For that, you have to start your story with a odd starting or with a out of ordinary starting, so that the reader feels that he should completely read your whole story. Okay, fourth point is finish the draft right away. Now this is not something that will take a lot of time. It's a short story and you can write the first draft in an hour. Fine, just write the structure of the story, write the you can say first draft. Now this doesn't mean that this is the final draft and you will submit this draft. After that, the fifth point comes in, and that is edit your story. For this editing, yes, you can build up on the first draft. You can add the fancy vocabulary in it. You can add the beautiful details in it that will make your story a masterpiece. Fine. Sixth point is choose a title. Now, many students will say that I choose the title before writing a short story, and that's how I want to work. Well, that is perfectly all right with us. You can choose a title before writing your short story, but I would still recommend that if you write the title after writing your short story, then you know the entirety of the story and you can make up a better title for your story. Fine. The seventh point is get feedback. Now, this feedback is not necessary to be taken from your teacher only. You can ask any of your sibling or your friend or your parents to just go through your story and give you the feedback that what is missing in the story. And then you can add that essential spice in your story to make your story the best one. Fine. Eighth point is practice your short story, and we already know that makes a man perfect. So we should, you can say, follow that too. Fine. Ninth point is write a short story every day for about 30 days. Now, this is a recommendation by me. If you really want to transform the way you write, you need to follow this tip. Do a story writing for about 30 days, once a day. Now, that doesn't mean that you will be writing the same story again and again in different versions, but come up with different topics. You can go in mystery writing, you can go in plot twist writing. We have already done that in class as well. You can try different genres and see what suits you and what is your forte. Fine. 10th point is core message and a theme. Now, this is very important to be included in your story. Why? Because if we talk about our childhood, we remember the story of the tortoise and a rabbit, and the core message, we still remember that is slow and steady wins the race. Fine. So, there should be a core message in your short story that will help the reader to get the message in a very short time. Now, why people read short stories? Because they don't have much time or much interest to read a very big novel, and that's why they wanted to get the message in a very short time. Fine. So, core message is a must in your story. The 11th point is writing a satisfying ending. Now, what is satisfying ending? Satisfying ending is that it is binding all the stuff that is included in your story at the end, and the conclusion is very clear. Um, you might say that we like open ended stories. That's absolutely okay, but still, I would recommend that you consolidate the events of the story um, before the ending, and you can leave a little bit open ended at the end, because this way the reader won't be going crazy searching for the ending. With this, we have come to an end of our tutorial. I wish you good luck for your task. Stay home, stay safe.